All right, everyone. This video is to kind of help you get through the breakout. I'm getting a lot of feedback that it's kind of challenging, and so I don't want it this week to end on a sour note that this is too hard and too frustrating. So I'm going to give you some hints and talk a little bit about breakout and why I kind of decided to put this and design this breakout and put this together for you all. So Breakout EDU is just a different way of having students collaborate and problem solve, in this case digitally, but if you've taken some of my other courses this summer, you also experienced like a physical box, and it comes from the idea of these escape rooms and that you're finding clues and unlocking locks, and in this case it's all digital since this is an online course, so I decided to do a digital one. And in this case you're finding codes that will unlock this form. And so there's 3 locks that you're trying to crack. A word lock that has 3 words in it, a 6-digit number lock, and then a 6-directional lock. And what I'm providing for you are some different clues and hints to kind of get to those locks. So the big grand purpose of this is in our case, like there's some new information that's being presented in some of it is reminding you about some of the things that we talked about, practicing some of the skills that maybe we didn't get to this past few weeks. So a lot of people are like, I don't even get where to start. So I'm going to help you and get you started. I did change a few things so that it's a little bit easier than it was before. But at this opening page here, you're kind of taken to the form where you're going to keep coming back to, and then you have this image here that talks about being a connected educator. That was week 1. That was things that we talked about week 1 about being an educator. A lot of people were like, am I supposed to click on this image? I can't figure out where to click on it. And you are to click on the image. And one thing that I tell students is always look at your mouse, because when your mouse changes to a hand, that means that there's a link there. And sometimes you just kind of have to, yeah, there it is. Someone had said, hey, this is just kind of like a guessing game. And yeah, there is some guessing involved, and there's some kind of trial and error. And there are some what they call red herrings. So there are some places that you might go that may not help you with a lock, but it could still be giving you good information. I took out some of those red herrings, so I think it was getting frustrating for people the first time around. But in this case, I'm going to give you the first step. And as you saw, my arrow turned to a hand when you were hovered over Google+. So when I click on that, that's going to take you to the D303 Tech for Teachers and Students Google+ community page. So if you haven't joined that yet, here's a resource to join. The reason I brought you here was because this is a resource for you. So if you're not a part of this, this would be a part of the game, and a breakout is kind of like a game. It's game-based learning. And so you could join this community. But if you kind of look around just in this initial page, you don't even have to scroll from here, and I'm not going to tell you the answer from here. From here, you're going to find another clue that's going to take you somewhere. That's where, and that's the whole point of this, is to kind of like, I'm presenting new resources for you that you may not know about. You'll come across a slides presentation with some tips and tricks that we just didn't have time to get to over these 6 weeks that we thought were still important. So there's a clue embedded in there, but at the same time, you're learning some new things. I know some people were like, I'm not really learning anything. It could be that maybe we chose some things that you were already really well versed with, and it's hard to tell with a group of 60 plus people what, I mean, we're hoping that everyone finds something new about Google that they've just learned about with this game. If you have already kind of spent an hour on this and you're really frustrated, that's fine. We totally understand. We've allotted about 5 hours every week, so use the rest of the time to finish your Fusion project. If you want to jump back into this now that I've kind of given you some hints and maybe elaborated a little bit more on it, feel free to do that. And or if you're just like, I can't figure this out, I'm too stressed out, I really have a lot of work on my Fusion project, that's okay. We would love for you to maybe at some point try to go through this to see this, because I have teachers all over the district who are creating these for their students to kind of present content in a new way and kind of get kids excited about their their unit or their lesson, or they use it for review or things like that. And so we wanted to expose you to just another strategy to use in the classroom that's really engaging and really could be fun. And those of you who are not having any fun, just, keep popping out comments in Google Classroom, and I can kind of direct you in the right way. I really recommend doing it with someone else. 2 sets of eyes are better than 1, because it's just a new perspective, and that's why I really kind of stress that. If you're at like the hour mark, I had said in the assignment, it should take about 45 to 75 hours, or 75 minutes, depending on how you're working. If you're kind of hitting that 60, 75 minute mark, it's okay if you didn't finish it. And that's also a part of this game, is sometimes you don't get through it, and that's okay. So use your time how you need to. If you want to try to spend about an hour on this, if you haven't already, please do that. But hopefully that kind of got you a little bit into the start. The other thing with this form is, like, it'll tell you right away if it's locked. So once that still locked goes away, that means that you figured out what the lock is, and you can go to the next one. I've designed it so it does go from one lock to another. You should kind of go in that order. There are other ones that don't go that way, but I thought maybe for the first time around, having ones that were kind of sequential, and you had to go to each one to get those things. So the idea is learning something different and learning in a different way. And so hopefully this helps alleviate some of the frustrations that are coming through on Classroom, but please feel free to ask more questions, and hopefully you can have a little bit of fun with this and see how it really is a puzzle and a game, and hopefully you do have some fun with it. So keep posting questions if you have them, and thank you guys for kind of stepping out and doing something different, and hopefully it's not too frustrating. So, all right, keep breaking out.